Well, hello, it's Ros Loxton here, and we are doing Wisdom of the Oracle Wednesday using the gorgeous Wisdom of the Oracle deck, which is produced by the gorgeous Colette Baron Reed. She is the real deal. Traveling at the moment, so I'm not in my normal place where I would be doing any of my videos. So before I kick off, I would like to acknowledge the Kabi Kabi, Jinnabara and Turrbal traditional custodians and their elders, past, present and emerging. We are on tour at the moment with our band, and yeah, so everything's kind of all over the place. Which is a good thing. I love the adventure. So today I would like to bring a message that you could use as a filter to filter a certain situation through that you feel that you would like some extra support with, or perhaps a new perspective on. And so the beauty about this oracle deck, or any oracle deck, but this particular oracle deck I really like, is because the messages are so beautiful and so helpful. Even if it's in a protection position, they're very, very helpful. So I'd like you to take the message in as much of a general sense as possible, because there's one card represents one filter or one way of looking at a situation, but because we're a civilization, right, we're a collective of people, we're all going to be experiencing the same thing, but in our own way, in a different way. And so there's a sort of a general way of looking at the message, rather than, you know, a really specific black and white meaning to the specific message. So my intention is to support you. My intention is to provide a space that is of support, that is fully helpful, loving, benevolent. And so I just like to set up this little container of support for the purpose of bringing you support, bringing a message to the container that you can bring your situation to, and use this card and the message in this card as a filter to filter that situation through, or to maybe just wake up some of the windows in your awareness that possibly are a little bit foggy or need opening up, and to let some fresh air in and out of. You know, I think about our whole system as like our veins and our bones, but then we've got our arteries and a flowing of our spiritual and our energy. And so I like to sort of bring that holistic approach into our physical, flesh and blood grounded world, but also our completely ethereal, esoteric, spiritual, cosmic, energetic world. Wherever you are on that journey of understanding life and, you know, how it all works. And so in this container, I am requesting protection from any negative or sabotaging energies or forces, that this container and this space, for the life of this container and this space, to be fully protected, to be fully benevolent for the entire life of this container. And in saying that, I would like to invite any ancestors, any cosmic divine support that is able to meet us in this space, guides, angels, any cosmic divine benevolent helpful support that can help guide which card comes out, and the way that I interpret and I guess channel the information for your greatest good and for my greatest good, which is the greatest good for all of humanity, and the way humanity impact on each other and impact on our beautiful earth that we are living on and in. And so, no further ado, I would like for the message that is most relevant to those who are going to be tuning in today, or any time for the life of this container, what is a message in the spirit of where we're at that would be most helpful. And so I'm going to shuffle until it's obvious to me which particular card wants to come out and be the card for our container. And it might flip out, or it might be just a sense of feeling that's enough when I'm shuffling. So what is the best card for us to look through as a filter today? My name's Ros Loxton, and hello beautiful people, it's lovely to have you here. So what is the most supportive message that could hold space for us in this container today and what people are going through. And I'm going to take this one, and it was in the protective position, which means it's upside down. And so this particular message is fork in the road. I feel like that came up recently. Anywho, fork in the road. I'll try and put that so you can see it, because the imagery is really important. If you listen to Colette Baron Reid talk about the people that she collaborates with to bring to life the animate nature of her decks, each little part of the pictures all kind of tell a part of the story and create the mood and the expansion of potential meanings in the particular card. So bringing your message to this container, or bringing your situation or your challenge or your query into this container, how does this particular card work as a window to look through to contemplate your information or your situation? So fork in the road is number 13. Let's have a look. Number 13. Lucky for some. 13. Okay, so the essential meaning of fork in the road is it's time to make a decision. Some of us are better at that than others. If we look into our human design, which I will not use anymore, our human design is such a wonderful treasure map. It's such a wonderful safety net to understand our whole blueprint of what makes us tick and what is our on purpose way of being in this life as individuals. So in our human design, there are these centers, and one of the centers is our spleen center, and it can be, the centers can either be open or not open. That's not the right wording. I've just gone blank there for a moment. Defined or not defined. And so if you have a not defined spleen, it means that the energy in the spleen isn't consistent all of the time. And one tiny little piece of the puzzle or the mapping with human design is, if we have an undefined spleen, it can be that some of these people find it difficult to make their choices, to make their decisions, and they can stay in the same place spinning their wheels for too long because they're in the shadow of some of the gates in their human design chart. And that undefined spleen can be a part of spinning your wheels and just not making that choice. So there's a little bit of extra trivia around it's time to make a decision. So for some of us it's easier than others. Considering the consequences as you prepare to act, owning up to your obligation to yourself, to being true to yourself, and to make a necessary choice. And so where is it in your life that it feels like it's time to make a choice? Maybe it is a fork in the road. It can be anything. It can be, I was just saying to my sister yesterday and catching up with her, and I said, it feels like, in terms of holistically, that we've just turned a corner and we're going down a different road now. And currently it feels like it's re-establishing the sensory nature of what this road is like, what's on this road, what's down this road, what is the geographical sort of feeling of this road. And it feels like as we've turned the corner, we're going down that road, a lot of people aren't coming down that road with us, and there's a lot of passing away going on at the moment, where people are finding out that they're not well and they don't have long on this earth anymore. There just seems like a real influx of it right at this moment. So for what it's worth, and the fact that I ask to be an open channel for what needs to come through, I won't question any of what is coming through at the moment in terms of, I wonder why I spoke about that at this moment. So That's the essential meanings. It's owning up to your obligations now and making necessary decisions, and necessary choices. And choices. You know, they matter in terms of when you're at a fork in the road. You know, you can make the choice, for example, to be as good as you can at looking after your physical health and well-being, or you can kind of be a bit nonchalant about it and go down this road and, you know, maybe drink too much, maybe eat too much, maybe smoke, maybe, you know, all the things that this body isn't really designed for and can only do for a certain period of time before it starts to break down. You know, at these choices, they have a way of meeting us somewhere. You know, meeting us somewhere down the road is the consequences of our choices. The Oracle's message is every choice has a consequence. Hello. You've arrived at a fork in the road and you're being asked to come to a decision. Will you further your dreams by choosing left or by choosing right? Will you take the road less traveled or the one well worn by others who have come before you? That's interesting because, you know, role models and people that have been there before, you know, gone on a journey that we're on, and they have done it. It's great to have role models, but also, you know, times change, and sometimes what was relevant and what was right and good and logical, etc., you know, in past times, maybe it isn't in these times. Maybe it's time to come up with something new, you know, and it doesn't mean that you don't still have role models. It just means you need to be more discerning with your choices around who you let to be that role model and what you let to be that role model. This is your choice and your choice alone to make. Circumstances and other people will not make it for you. And if you leave them make it for you, you know, you've got to kind of sit in the consequences of not making your own choices. Be present, and do not avoid this junction, for it is an important crossroad. Now take heart, as no matter which path you choose, you will have a rich, meaningful experience. You know, rich and meaningful doesn't always necessarily mean butterflies and fairy floss. You know, it can be quite challenging and hard, but that can still be rich, you know, and meaningful. And sometimes I've been listening to this beautiful podcast called, by The Emerald, and it's talking about trauma and how, and I won't go into detail, but that trauma is actually, there's some part of the trauma which is also the gateway for our transformation, you know, almost like birth. Birth is a very traumatic thing, it's a trauma, but then we birth this whole new life into the world. So, you know, rich and meaningful experiences aren't necessarily free of hardship. Now, the relationship message is you've reached a moment of truth in the evolution of your relationship. With who? Your work, with yourself, with an intimate partner, with somebody or something. Which will you choose? To open up to possibility of love? Yes, please. Or to remain isolated? To go deeper and commit to mutual passion? Or to walk away? This is a time to take responsibility for your truest desire and to follow it. Be honest with yourself, radically honest with yourself about what you're willing to do, what you're willing to invest and to give, and then choose. You cannot make a wrong choice if you're consciously choosing like this and not just standing still on the escalator unconsciously because the escalator is moving you along. You know, wake up. You can keep walking even though the escalator is moving. So make these choices with a real consciousness. If you move forward with a relationship, know that it will be based in truth and authenticity if you make these choices consciously. You will have made a conscious decision rather than simply hanging on because you don't want to be alone, or ending things because you're afraid of the intensity of a genuine connection. All roads lead to the lessons that you must learn in your relationships. Regardless of the decision you make, it will place you on the path to a truer experience of the heart. I read a meme, something the other day, and it was about if you want to find out where your childhood traumas are, or your shadow work, that the work that you need to do to feel to be healed from some of your past. Have an intimate relationship, and all the things that could possibly need healing will then show up. So the prosperity message in the fork in the road card is: you've come as far as you can on this part of your journey, and now you're faced with a choice. Inherent in this choice is the need for change, for evolution, and for bettering your circumstances. It's kind of tricky when we're creatures of conditioning to let go of everything you think you know, everything that seems normal, and like, this is my limitation, is what keeps me safe. It's really difficult to kind of think about letting go of those handrails and letting yourself move on to somewhere else. Narrow it down to just a single question. Who do I need to become? And what do I need to believe in order to live a life of prosperity? Answer honestly and from your heart. Then the decision about which way to go, it will be effortless. Also in human design, this decision-making process is different depending on, whether you're a generator or a projector or a manifesting generator or a reflector, depending on what profile you are. I'm a sacral, and my yes and no is quite instant. Do I have energy for this or don't I? Does it feel like a yes or a no for me? Is usually quite instant. But for people who have an emotional authority, they need to go through an emotional wave before they land on their sense of, this is what's right for me. So, we all do have nuances around knowing how to make a decision that feels effortless, even though it might be big and kind of, hard. Your knowingness of its rightness is effortless. So know that abundance is all around you. You have to choose to see it. And it will be easier to settle on a direction, for the way will be made clear to your intuition, which knows how to steer you toward your well-being. Everybody's well-being is slightly different, and one of the things that it feels like really is timely now, and we need to get better at doing, is not thinking that your well-being is the same as someone else's well-being. That might be really mindful of how we project onto each other. You should do this is what you should do. I'm judging that you should, this is, that's really projecting onto someone else. And it feels like we just really need to get a handle on spewing our aura and our projections out onto other people, and to hold them in ourselves before, and have a conscious space of deciding whether or not I'm projecting, or whether or not that person needs to hear these words that want to just keep coming out of my mouth. Is to be mindful about how we project our shoulds and shouldn'ts onto other people. Now, the card was upside down, which means it was in protection. So I'm going to read the protection message of this card. So indecision is extremely frustrating and will lead to anxiety, loss, and confusion. Again, this will be different for each human design profile. So you might need some help, help you navigate how to get the most out of your human design, so you can make choices based on what your blueprint is, because the way you make them, the way I make them, are going to be different. So I can't say to you, hey, make your decision like this, because if you're a projector, You're going to have a different way of making choices, and a different way of knowing in your body intuitively how to make that choice is going to be different. So even as a life coach, as a mindset coach, as an emotional clearing coach, I have to be super mindful that I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to navigate how you tap into your own intuition and get the most out of your design. Now, at this juncture, you can't remain in place without losing your way altogether. You've got to make a choice. Avoid the tendency to let others choose for you. What do you think I should do? That's really outsourcing your power, empowerment. What do you think I should do is really abandoning your own intuition. This amounts to a subtle refusal to take responsibility. Your ability to be able to respond, response ability. So don't give your power away, not even to this oracle. By not making a choice, you are making a choice for which you must be accountable. If that choice leads to undesirable circumstances, take heart. Spirit never tires of giving you second chances. You can always start again once you've learned this valuable lesson. Okay, so like I said, for all of us, we're going to have different parts of that message that's going to resonate, to be a helpful guide, or a light over in a dark corner of our thinking. If you need any support, I will put a link in this post where you can book a session and we can have a chat about whatever your situation is. Either we can include using the oracle messages to give us fresh insight, or we don't have to use those. We can just communicate, and I can help you to navigate your own nuances around how to make your choices. Okay, I'm Ros Loxton. I'm wishing you very big love and big encouragement for your very best self and your very best life. And I'll see you next time in Wisdom of the Oracle Wednesday. Bye for now.